Japan is often measured by speed, efficiency, and precision, yet some of its most enduring habits move in the opposite direction. In homes across the country, as evening settles and streets quiet, water begins to steam. Bathing does not wait for morning. It arrives at night, deliberate and complete. While much of the world wakes itself with water, Japan closes the day with it. This difference is not accidental, nor is it outdated. It reflects a deeper cultural order, where rest is protected, balance is restored, and the body is prepared for sleep rather than performance. To understand why Japan bathes at night, we must first understand how cultures decide when a day truly ends. In Japan, night bathing is not preparation for what comes next. It is completion of what has already passed. The day ends only when the body is clean. Dirt, sweat, and fatigue are removed before sleep, not carried into it. This idea took shape long before modern plumbing, rooted in purification practices recorded as early as the Nara period in the 8th century, when water symbolized separation between the outside world and the inner self. By bathing at night, the body enters rest already resolved. Morning arrives without unfinished business. One wakes not to correct the body, but to continue life from a state of balance. This philosophy shapes how mornings feel in Japan. People rise, dress, and leave their homes without returning to water. Cleanliness has already been achieved. There is no urgency to wash away the night because the night itself followed purification. The bath marked a clear boundary between labor and rest, a rhythm reinforced during the Edo period from the 1600s to 1800s, when communal bathhouses operated primarily in the evening. Sleep without bathing felt incomplete. Morning bathing never became essential because the work of cleansing had already been done. In the United States and much of Europe, the order reversed. Bathing evolved as a morning ritual tied to public readiness. Cleanliness became activation rather than closure. One washes to face work, crowds, and social judgment. From the late 19th century onward, industrial schedules and private bathrooms encouraged individual morning routines. Through this lens, Japan's habit can appear backward, as if something was skipped. Yet this judgment rests on Western assumptions. Japan does not delay cleanliness. It completes it earlier. What seems unusual is simply a different answer to the same question. When is a day truly clean? In Japan, cleanliness was never governed by hours or schedules. It was shaped by purification. Shinto practices, documented as early as the 8th century in texts like the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, taught that misogi, ritual washing with water, removed spiritual and emotional impurity. Water did not answer to time. It answered to state of being. Bathing separated the outside world from inner peace, dividing noise from silence, strain from rest. The bath was not taken because it was morning or night. It was taken because the body carried the weight of the day. Only after water passed over skin could rest begin fully and without residue. This philosophy carried forward through centuries. During the Heian period and later the Edo period from 1603 to 1868, bathing remained a boundary ritual rather than a timed obligation. The purpose was release, not readiness. Water reset the emotions as much as the body. Steam softened tension. Heat slowed thought. Cleanliness was a state achieved, not a routine checked off. The clock did not command the bath. The body did. This is why night bathing endured even as technology advanced. It aligned with the human need to close the day gently, not with artificial divisions of time. In the United States and much of Europe, bathing evolved differently. As industrialization expanded in the 19th century, hygiene became tied to work schedules and productivity. Cleanliness prepared individuals to enter public life. Morning washing became a signal of readiness, discipline, and social respectability. Water served performance. By the early 20th century, factories, offices, and schools reinforced this rhythm. One bathed to face the world, not to release it. Japan chose another path. It cleaned for peace. The West cleaned for performance. The difference was never about soap or temperature. It was about what cleanliness was meant to protect. Night bathing in Japan did not emerge from preference or convenience, but from structure, rhythm, and history. During the Edo period, from 1603 to 1868, most Japanese homes contained a single wooden tub, the ofuro, heated once each evening. Water was precious, fuel was labor, and the bath was prepared deliberately at the close of the day. Families bathed in sequence, beginning with elders, continuing to children, and ending only when the day itself felt complete. This shared rhythm gave bathing a symbolic role beyond hygiene. It marked closure. The body carried the weight of labor, travel, and social obligation, and the bath removed it before sleep. Going to bed without bathing meant carrying the outside world into rest, something culturally unsettling. Over generations, night bathing became not a habit, but a definition of when the day truly ended. This pattern reinforced a collective understanding of order. Bathing was not individualized or flexible. It was communal, timed, and emotionally anchored. The heated bath gathered the household into a shared pause, even when words were few. Cleanliness was not rushed or functional. It was deliberate, slow, and restorative. By the late Edo period, this nightly routine had embedded itself deeply into Japanese domestic life. Even as cities grew and plumbing improved during the Meiji era after 1868, the meaning remained intact. Modern bathtubs replaced wooden ones, gas replaced firewood, but the bath still belonged to the night. Infrastructure evolved, yet the symbolic closure of bathing before sleep endured because it aligned with how Japan organized time, rest, and emotional release. In the United States and Europe, a different system produced a different habit. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, private bathrooms became common earlier, especially among the middle class. Water heating became individual, fast, and repeatable. Bathing shifted from a shared household ritual to a personal routine shaped by work schedules. Morning showers fit industrial life, preparing bodies for factories, offices, and public performance. Cleanliness became activation rather than closure. Japan did not reject this model out of resistance, but because its system had already written another answer. Habits followed infrastructure, and infrastructure followed values. Systems shape rituals long before preference ever enters the conversation. In Japan, the bath is designed to complete the body, not merely refresh it. The process begins before the tub is ever entered. The body is fully washed outside the bath using soap, water, and careful attention, a practice formalized in households by the Edo period and preserved through modern bathroom design. Only after the skin is clean does soaking begin. The tub itself is not for scrubbing or rinsing, but for stillness. The hot water surrounds the body evenly, easing muscles, slowing breath, and calming the nervous system. By the time the bath ends, nothing feels pending. Cleanliness is finished, and the body registers closure. This physical completeness carries into sleep, making a morning wash unnecessary rather than neglected. Soaking holds psychological weight in Japanese life. The bath is a boundary between worlds, separating public effort from private rest. Heat penetrates deeply, raising core temperature before allowing it to fall naturally during sleep, a cycle associated with improved rest and documented in Japanese sleep studies since the 1990s. When morning arrives, the body feels resolved rather than stale. There is no emotional or sensory demand to reset. Clean clothes are worn, the body remains calm, and the day begins without friction. This sense of completeness explains why even in summer or after long commutes, many Japanese do not feel unclean in the morning. The bath has already done its work, both physically and mentally. In the United States and much of Europe, bathing mechanics serve a different purpose. Showers are typically fast, upright, and stimulating, designed to wake the body rather than settle it. Water pressure, cooler temperatures, and shorter duration activate the nervous system. Hygiene often feels incomplete without a morning rinse because the shower functions as a trigger, not a conclusion. Even after an evening wash, many Westerners associate cleanliness with readiness rather than rest. Water prepares the body to perform, to face people, work, and movement. Japan soothes the body into rest, while the West stimulates it into action. The difference is not about dirt, but about what water is expected to do to the human mind. Winter in Japan does not rewrite the bathing ritual, it deepens it. Traditional Japanese homes, especially before the post-war era, were built for ventilation rather than insulation. Even today, many houses rely on localized heating instead of central systems, leaving hallways, bedrooms, and bathrooms cold in winter. In this environment, the bath becomes the primary source of deep warmth. Hot soaking raises body temperature from the inside out, improving circulation and loosening muscles stiffened by cold. Long before modern medicine, this practice functioned as nightly recovery. By the time one steps out of the bath, the body carries warmth inward, making sleep possible even in unheated rooms. This internal warming has long-term physiological effects. Japanese health research since the late 20th century has linked evening hot baths to better blood flow, reduced stress hormones, and improved sleep quality during colder months. The ritual is not abandoned because winter makes it more necessary. Rather than heating entire homes, families heat water. The bath becomes an equalizer, offering comfort regardless of room temperature or income level. Even in rural areas or older apartments, the bath remains protected. Morning bathing in winter feels counterproductive, as it exposes the body to cold immediately after warmth, disrupting the cycle of rest established the night before. In the United States and Europe, winter triggers a different response. Homes are designed to retain heat, supported by central heating systems that warm entire living spaces. Comfort is externalized. Because the environment is already warm, the body does not rely on soaking for recovery. Morning showers often increase during winter, serving as a psychological and physical activation tool before facing cold outdoors. Warm water prepares the body for performance rather than rest. In this system, the house absorbs the role that the bath plays in Japan. Japan warms the body so the night can be endured. The West warms the house so the day can begin. The ritual remains unchanged because the system surrounding it has never required change. In Japan, energy use has always been shaped by restraint rather than abundance, and this reality quietly reinforces the night bathing habit. For much of the 20th century, fuel was expensive, living spaces were small, and efficiency mattered. Families heated one bath in the evening and shared it in sequence, a practice that balanced cost with necessity. Even today, modern Japanese bathtubs are engineered to retain heat for hours, often insulated and covered between uses. Water is reheated, not discarded. The bath is treated as a shared resource, not an individual luxury. Despite rising energy prices in the 1970s oil shocks and again in the 2010s, the evening bath remained protected because it was never classified as optional comfort. This protection reveals value. In Japanese households, heating the bath is considered essential to physical health and mental stability. Families may limit heating in unused rooms, wear warmer clothing indoors, or shorten lighting use, but the bath remains intact. The reasoning is quiet but firm. The bath restores the body after work, stabilizes sleep, and resets the mind. Removing it would disrupt the household rhythm. Energy-saving culture in Japan has therefore focused on adaptation rather than elimination. The bath survives because it carries emotional weight, cultural memory, and physiological purpose. It is not indulgence, it is maintenance. In the United States and Europe, economic pressure produces a different pattern. Energy costs rise, thermostats adjust, and showers may become shorter, but the morning shower itself is rarely questioned. Hygiene routines are psychologically protected because they are tied to readiness, confidence, and social acceptance. Cutting back elsewhere feels easier than disrupting a ritual that signals competence and control. Even during energy crises, morning showers persist because they are embedded in the identity of the workday. Cost may alter duration, but not timing. What survives hardship is what a culture refuses to negotiate. In Japan, it is the evening bath that endures. In the West, it is the morning shower. The difference is not about water or money, but about what each society considers essential to being whole. In Japan, the morning is not a moment of correction, but a continuation of what was already completed the night before. The body wakes calm, clean, and settled, carrying no sense of unfinished business. Because bathing closes the day, sleep becomes a protected space rather than an anxious pause. Cleanliness is emotionally tied to rest, not performance. When morning arrives, there is no internal alarm asking what must be fixed. The body is trusted. The identity is already set. This is why skipping a morning bath in Japan does not register as neglect. It simply feels unnecessary, like rereading a page already understood. This psychological comfort is reinforced by rhythm. Japanese life trains the nervous system to associate water with release, not readiness. The evening bath signals safety, privacy, and the end of social exposure. Once that signal is received, the body lets go. Morning then becomes quiet preparation without urgency. Clothes are worn over a body that feels resolved. There is no fear of being unfinished in public because the cleansing ritual already did its work. Cleanliness belongs to the inner world first, and public life is entered from a place of calm completion. In the United States and much of Europe, the psychology is reversed. Cleanliness is tied directly to social acceptance and outward credibility. The morning shower is not only about the body, but about reassurance. It confirms readiness, professionalism, and belonging. Skipping it can trigger discomfort, even anxiety, because the ritual protects against imagined judgment. Hygiene becomes a shield against exposure. Even after bathing at night, many Westerners feel unsettled in the morning, as if the body has drifted overnight into social risk. This unease is learned, not biological. It is shaped by cultures that reward visibility, alertness, and constant self-management. Where Japan trusts rest to preserve order, the West fears what might be revealed without one last layer of control. One culture wakes already at peace. The other wakes to check itself before stepping outside. In modern Japan, surrounded by smartphones, long commutes, and glowing screens, young people continue to bathe at night by choice rather than obligation. This persistence is not nostalgia. It is function. Since the early 2000s, as work hours lengthened and mental fatigue became a national concern, night bathing evolved into a form of self-regulation. Young adults speak of sleep quality, nervous system recovery, and the need to draw a firm boundary between labor and rest. The bath ends the day with intention. It clears the body of public exposure and gives the mind permission to shut down. In small apartments and busy cities, the ritual remains sacred because it works where nothing else does. It restores control in lives that otherwise move too fast. This generation understands the bath less as tradition and more as technology of calm. Studies and lifestyle surveys from the 2010s onward repeatedly link hot evening bathing in Japan to deeper sleep and reduced stress markers. Young workers return late, yet they still bathe before bed, even when exhausted. They know that skipping it costs them rest. The bath becomes a mental boundary, separating digital noise from silence. It is one of the few moments when time slows without performance. In this sense, modern Japan did not abandon the ritual. It relied on it more. Tradition survived not because it was enforced, but because it proved useful under pressure. In the United States and Europe, a parallel hunger is visible. Wellness trends in the 2010s and 2020s began searching for what Japan already practiced. Evening routines, hot showers before sleep, and screen-free wind-down rituals gained attention. Meditation apps and sleep hygiene guides quietly echoed the logic of night bathing. Yet habit inertia remains strong. Morning showers are still defended as essential, even when evidence suggests evening warmth improves rest. Western cultures are experimenting, not committing. They borrow calm, but struggle to reorganize identity around it. Japan did the opposite. It protected the ritual and allowed modern life to bend around it. The new generation continues to bathe at night not out of tradition alone, but because in a restless age, it remains one of the few practices that consistently delivers peace. In Japan, cleanliness is not a tool for display, but a ritual of closure. The night bath signals the end of exposure to the world. It washes away not only sweat, but the weight of schedules, crowds, and expectations. Cleanliness here is inward-facing. It prepares the body for rest, not performance. The bath resists speed by slowing the nervous system and restoring order before sleep. Night becomes a protected threshold, a quiet passage from obligation to stillness. In this sense, bathing at night is not about hygiene alone. It is a cultural refusal to carry the day into the next one. The body is allowed to finish, not endlessly reset. This philosophy gives the night a sacred role. The bath closes the door on noise and opens space for recovery. Cleanliness means the day has been properly ended. Morning, therefore, does not require correction. It begins already resolved. This rhythm reflects a broader Japanese value system where balance, completion, and restraint matter more than constant readiness. The bath stands as a small act of resistance against acceleration. It insists that rest is not weakness, and that the body deserves care before it is asked to perform again. Water becomes a boundary, separating what has happened from what is yet to come. In the United States and Europe, cleanliness carries a different meaning. Hygiene functions as readiness. The morning shower is a form of armor, preparing the individual to face scrutiny, work, and social judgment. Cleanliness is outward-facing, tied to visibility and acceptance. The day begins as a battlefield, and the body must be prepared before entering it. Skipping the morning shower feels risky, even if the body was cleaned the night before. This contrast reveals not a difference in water, but in worldview. Japan cleans to close the day. The West cleans to enter it. Same water, different civilizations. Japan's habit of bathing at night is not a question of convenience or climate, but of meaning. It reflects a civilization that values completion over preparation, rest over performance, and inner order over public display. Where Japan uses water to close the day and protect sleep, much of the West uses water to armor the body for visibility and judgment. These routines reveal deeper cultural logic, shaped by history, infrastructure, psychology, and values that persist even as modern life accelerates. Same water, different intentions. If this journey into Japan's quiet rituals reshaped how you see everyday habits, stay with us. AsiaEyeWithin explores the unseen logic behind cultures that move differently, think differently, and live by rhythms often missed at first glance. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves understanding the world beneath the surface. Sometimes culture survives not by adapting, but by refusing to move the bath to the morning.